Oh man, we need to talk about ALGORAND because ALGORAND is back below $1. We're currently sitting at 90 cents per ALGO token. You guys know we've covered this token for a long time here on this channel. It's one of the projects that I like. It's got a small allocation in my portfolio, and I think it's a technologically superior layer 1 blockchain. But we know that is not enough for you to have a top 10 cryptocurrency. And in this video, we're going to break down what some of the shortcomings and hurdles seem to be for ALGORAND. I'm going to give you my take on them and whether I think they can resolve these. And then I'm going to come to a conclusion of whether I'm going to sell my ALGORAND. So make sure you stay tuned till the very end. Don't forget to smash up the like button and subscribe if you like these types of content and these updates I give you on a daily basis. Also, be sure to check out NordVPN to get yourself set up on a VPN. For those who don't know, a VPN allows you to mask your IP address and appear as if you're coming from a different country, which makes it difficult for hackers or bad actors to trace you down. So make sure you get set up on a VPN. They're offering 70% off of a 2-year plan for this community. It says 24 months. They throw in a month for free as well. So you're getting 25 months of protection for about $50-$60, guys. So it's an absolute no-brainer if you have some serious amount invested in crypto. Now, let's get straight into the charts. Look at this on ALGORAND, guys. This is something that, we've been talking about here for a while, and it's just been bleeding and bleeding to the downside. And to be fair, it's not just ALGORAND, right? A lot of coins are struggling to the downside. We know the wider macroeconomy has a whole pile of FUD from CPI to interest rate liftoff, and we know this is going to be a year of lifting interest rates. We know inflation is higher than we've seen in 40 years. We know we're in a super risk-off environment right now. You've got the Russia and Ukraine tensions to add on to it as well. But let's face reality. We're down now 65% here on ALGORAND, back under $1, sitting at 90 cents, and back at prices which we could have gotten back in August of 21. So now the question is, what is going on with ALGORAND? We'll look at it technically. We'll also look at it from a fundamental perspective, because you guys know, like from the early days, I've always said that ALGORAND is a technologically advanced chain. Okay, so Silvio Micali, the founder, Turing Prize winner, went to MIT, he's a professor on blockchain technologies. He knows what he's doing. He's built an amazing consensus mechanism and blockchain, right? Good finality, amazing block finality. He solved the blockchain trilemma of decentralization, scalability, and security. But the problem is the other piece. And that other piece is really, really important. And a lot of people critiqued Cardano for not having the first piece, but they had the second piece, right? They didn't have a working blockchain with smart contracts or transaction speed to prove off. It was just a white paper. But they had the second piece, which was that intangible piece. And some people may hate me for saying this, but this intangible piece is what things like Dogecoin and Shiba, they get right. They're community-based tokens. They have the social element. It's a bit of marketing, bit of branding, bit of hype, bit of a community feel to really get people engaged, because you can have the best technical white paper, but how many people who invest in a cryptocurrency actually read the white paper? How many of them actually have the technical knowledge to understand all the details of cryptography or your consensus mechanism or follow through from a technological perspective? Not many, right? So the reality is it's about marketing, it's about branding, no different to how you have with a computer. You can create the best iPhone in the world, right? The best smartphone. If you don't have the branding to match with Apple or Samsung, it's irrelevant, right? You need to be in front of the consumers. They need to believe in it. They need to be emotionally attached to your product. And that is something that Cardano has done particularly well. But ALGORAND have struggled with, okay? Let's face it, ALGORAND have struggled really pushing on. Now, the second bit that's really on my mind and is getting me a little bit concerned with ALGORAND is their lack of growth on DeFi, right? So let's head over into DeFi Llama, and if you're looking at the list here, so let's head over into chains and let's search for ALGORAND, and we'll need to search because it's not super high up. Come on, ALGORAND, where are you? Further down. Search doesn't even want to work. There we go. 38% here on ALGORAND, okay? This is what's worrying me, okay? So you look at something like Cardano, and we're seeing 36% up over the last 7 days. It's the fastest growing total value locked project, fastest growing in TVL project on DeFi Llama, right? It's faster than all the other projects over the last 7 days. But then I look at something like ALGORAND, and they've just struggled. It's flat, right? If I click on ALGORAND, And you'll see that there's very few projects here, Yieldly, AlgoFi, TinyMan. There's just not enough activity going on here, guys. Whether that's a lack of bridging, whether that's a lack of attracting good dApp developers, there's just not enough hype. And remember what I said. The ability of layer one solutions, the winner is going to come down to who attracts the best dApp developers, who attracts the best entrepreneurs, who attracts those people to build on their app store, right? You can have this Apple app store, which is beautiful. If nobody comes and develops good apps on there, it's a ghost town, right? It's irrelevant. Same with these layer one technologies, Phantom, Luna, Solana, Cardano, or Avalanche, all of these are going to depend, and the reason they're creating these big dApp development funds is to incentivize people to build great projects, and that's what Phantom has done really well. Phantom's done that amazingly, and we cover that in the Phantom videos. They've made it very smart in how they incentivize dApp developers to create total value locked, to drive total value locked as a key KPI, a key performance indicator, a metric which they monitor and they reward you with Phantom tokens, right? Whereas what are we seeing with Algorand? That's where we're struggling. We're not seeing that growth. We're not seeing, the up and to the right movement and the progress. And that is what's frustrating markets. And that's why the price is where it is, because it's not doing enough. It doesn't mean that it hasn't got the potential to do it. And now I'm going to come on to the good news, because the good news is this. And initially this had me humming a little bit, but as I kind of digested it and let it brew a little bit, I thought this is a good move. So former JP Morgan exec named ALGORAND Foundation CEO, Stacey Warden brings experience, right? She worked at the NASDAQ, US Treasury Department, Milken Institute, and now she's joining as CEO of the ALGORAND Foundation. Now, the interesting thing, as I was reading the article, and you guys can go ahead and have a read of this full article on Blockworks, but there's a few interesting bits which I want to point out. Let me find it. I think I have the best product, and the product is not well understood and not well appreciated and not well known. Perfect. This is what I love. So Stacey Warden has come in straight away and hit the nail on the absolute head. She's identified the Achilles heel of Algorand, and that is beautiful, because if she's noticed it and she's identified it as an issue, you best believe, given her corporate background of executing, of making things happen, she's going to make that a priority, right? Let's keep going. What else has she said here? She said she intends for ALGORAND Foundation to put more resources into marketing and communications by quadrupling the size of its community engagement team and expanding its developer relations. Perfect. The two things I just said, right? One, get the community engaged. Why are people like Phantom is one of the most talked about layer one solutions on Twitter, on these social media platforms. Why? Because they didn't have the easy route. They didn't have VC backing. We know that. So Phantom had to go almost into some guerrilla marketing tactics, right? From the developer point of view, they had to incentivize them with Phantom tokens to say, guys, please go drive TVL. From an engagement perspective, they had to go reward people on Twitter. They're in the Twitter ecosystems. They're on social media platforms and talking to influencers. We see what Harry Yeh does on certain crypto channels, right? They go and give these interviews. They update the community. Other platforms don't need to do that. If you're a Solana, you've got more VC backing that you can approach institutions and move your price from that perspective. But what's Algorand's? Algorand's not doing either of those, okay? So it's good that she's tackled both of these. In addition, building up the Algorand ecosystem as the growth of crypto payment platforms, DeFi and NFTs accelerates will be crucial, Warden said. Good. She's identified the key bits. We need to see some NFT action. I think she should add into their play to earn. We need to see some play to earn action. We need to see DeFi and obviously crypto payments as well. Okay, so good. We absolutely need to focus on that and draw liquidity and draw the best developers and draw the smartest entrepreneurs to the Algorand ecosystem and our layer one so that we can help them build up this ecosystem, she added. In the longer term, it's going to be a real world play, making sure that we are the layer one that wallets use for real world payments. She's hit the nail on the head, guys. Exactly the qualms that hold me back with Algorand and get me concerned. She's absolutely nailed it. Those are the bits that we need to tackle. And it's good that she's identified them. And now we need to give her a chance to address those. And it's going to take her some time to get her legs under the table, to get used to the role that she's got, understand the structure of the company, and then implement the changes that she feels are right. But if she can nail those, we can quickly see good dApp developers come to Algorand. We can see total value locked grow, just like ADA. ADA's got to 100 million already. And if it does another 10x from here in TVL, it'll be $1 billion. It'll be in the top 10, right? I think 1.25 billion is needed to get into the top 10 at the time of recording, right? So, it's not a big chasm that Algorand need to cross because they've got the fundamentals right. The technology scales. It's got good block finality, low transaction fees. The hard bit is done. Go and do the marketing piece. You've built the iPhone. Go get people to fall in love with it. And bring in someone with that corporate experience who's worked at the NASDAQ, worked at the US Treasury. Hopefully she can go and really pull that up. But what I'm impressed by is she's identified the issue straight away. She didn't come in and talk about, some of the technical aspects, or we need a better layer one, it doesn't scale enough, or the security isn't enough. No, they've done that to bits. It's kind of the same issue that they've done that bit to the bits, right? Now they need to do the community bit. And that is why I respect Cardano. Cardano, they're similar to ALGORAND in that their roots, their foundations are very academic based. They want to focus on the technology. But particularly what Charles Hoskinson alone has done, he's brought the community element to it through his live streams, through his engagement on social media, through him being a figurehead. He's brought that into the community and allows the community to run with that as they've got a one-to-one connection with him, how he talks about the project, how he updates the ecosystem of the community on what the updates are, when's Alonso coming, when's the NFTs coming, when's the DEX coming, all these basic things. So we need to see that start to happen from ALGORAND. So to the answer to the question, no, I'm not quite selling ALGORAND right now. If anything, I'll probably be topping up if we fall down to 74 cents. Looking here on the daily chart, you can see here, we've seen that our EMA ribbon continues to act as resistance, okay? So big resistance here, sent us all the way down, tried to rally back again, big resistance to the downside again. So we're really struggling here on the daily. If we flip over to the 4 hourly, you'll see here again, we're getting some sideways action, okay? So we're flipping up and down. We've not got any real consistency here, but for this longest period here, all the way to our lows here, we were bearish on our 4 hourly. Taking a look at a smaller time frame, just to see, what can we see? We've got this long-term downtrend. We could draw a line all the way across these peaks here. We've really got to get some momentum to break out. If Bitcoin can get moving now and start heading towards 44, just to show you the Bitcoin chart, if you've not watched my video from earlier on, make sure you go watch my Bitcoin video, guys, because we've got the breakout from trend here on Bitcoin. Bitcoin needs to start working to the upside. It needs to work through 43 at this pivot point here, and then it needs to work through 43 and a half here, and then to the top of the wedge at 44,000. Okay, so if Bitcoin can work its way to 44,000, break through each of these levels up to 44,000, you best believe something that like ALGORAND can start to get moving and pick its way up to its high here at back at $1. Okay, and that's what we're looking at here on ALGORAND, is can we get back to this level at $1? If we see further downside, I'm happy to top up a little bit. I'm a little underweight on ALGORAND. I don't mind adding a little bit more, but this would be me in anticipation of seeing whether Stacey Warden can steer the company properly. I really do need to see action over the next 3 to 6 months here on ALGORAND. I want to give Stacey a chance, this new CEO. Can she get some of the community engaged? Can she start with some marketing? Can she get TVL trending in the right direction? Because if we can, ALGORAND can be a beast. That's why I'm willing to put, I've got a really good low cost basis in ALGORAND. I've never chased any of the pumps on this. I've always picked it up at nice prices. So again, I wouldn't be chasing it even now. I'm happy for it to come down to 74 and then top up. I've had plenty of time to accumulate here and obviously beforehand. Oops, I'm not even showing that. I wouldn't be chasing it on any of these pumps here. I'd be waiting for it to come down to 74 here to pick some up. I've had opportunity to pick up here, and obviously beforehand as well. So again, not chasing that. Let it come to me on this one. But Stacey's really got to get it right, and that's going to be the key. She's got 3 to 6 months. For me, if I don't start to see it trending in the right direction, then I'll probably have to revisit whether ALGORAND needs to be resized or completely removed from my portfolio. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. As always, hope you enjoy this transparency and openness about how I'm thinking about my positions, both from a technical perspective and a fundamental perspective. Hopefully you appreciate that blend. If you do, make sure you smash up that like button. Can we get to 150 likes on this video? Can we subscribe? And as always, guys, don't forget to check out NordVPN. Links in the description. NordVPN have been kind enough to offer this community 70% off of a VPN for 2 years, guys. So you're talking 2 years. They throw an extra month on top. So 25 months of protection, being anonymous on the internet when you're staking, if you're yield farming, if you're logging in and out of exchanges and wallets. Make sure you've got your IP masked. Make sure you're set up on a VPN. Every little helps to make sure you're protected. I mean, for 50, 60 bucks over 2 years, you can't go wrong. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next one.